pretty much convinced that there really is a formula for failure, which is nothing more than trying to please everyone and ignoring our own inner impulses. But I do not believe that there is one single formula for success. Living the spiritual life does not mean setting goals and following them assiduously. The way of the sacred quest is different than that. This difference is sensed in this little stanza by Rumi, a Sufi poet who lived 1,000 years ago. He said, "Do you think I know what I am doing? That for one breath or half-breath I belong to myself? As much as a pen knows what it's writing, or the ball can guess where it's going next." As an instrument of God, you are ever in the presence of a loving guidance. With this inner awareness, you will not lose sight of yourself and become a homeless bum begging for your next meal if that is not the way of your sacred quest. You will know your purpose, pursue it with vigor, and trust the universe to handle the details. It is this kind of awareness that has led me to work even harder and produce more effectively and feel more purposeful, not a set of goals that I strove toward. I can truly identify with Rumi in this regard. I have never known where I am going. I quiet myself, listen, and then allow myself to be guided. Having goals is a way of abandoning now in favor of a plan for some future now. The absence of a lot of specific goals helps cultivate your awareness that you are not alone on this journey. You begin to trust in the divine guidance to assist you in your present moment. You come to know the universe will handle the details if you surrender and let go somewhat. How to release the importance of goals for success? Be willing. This is the most important suggestion I can offer. Be willing to do whatever it takes to turn that inner knowledge and future pull into your reality. Relax about the future and let it go. Instead, make an active commitment to enjoy this day a little more. The more peaceful you are with yourself and your role here, the more productive and efficient you become. It is very difficult to accomplish anything when you are stressed over the outcome. When you relax and get peaceful, you become inspired and efficient. Toss out the goals and live your life knowing that you are co-creating it. Another belief that you've had handed to you that you'll need to discard is that you must always do your best at everything that you do. Throughout our lives we hear, "I don't really care how well you do as long as you do your best." Examine this idea and you may come up with a different conclusion. You don't really have to do your best. In fact, your best is something that you can never measure or even know. You can drive yourself to neurotic extremes with this idea of always having to do your best. Your best leaves no room for improvement. It means that you have to go all out 100% every single time you do anything. When you remove the stigma of having to perform at a given level, you remove the ego's need to be judged better than others. You are better off to simply do and enjoy and be willing to learn. Stop imposing on yourself and your children the belief that you must do your best. Experiment with performing tasks that seem to flow from your inner promptings, but detach yourself from the need to measure to see whether your efforts have been worthwhile. While meditating, get a picture of yourself being able to do anything. Give yourself permission to be with this image and to forget about the outcome. See how peaceful you feel when you're not being tested, when you're allowed to just be. Give yourself the same permission in all of your daily undertakings. Another belief that you'll need to discard is that dreams are not reality. Most of us were taught to believe in two separate realities. One is our waking reality, the other is our dream reality. In this formula, when we're in a dream state, we're in a world that is unreal. We disregard dreams as a mental exercise that happens only while we sleep. Waking consciousness is considered reality, and dreaming consciousness is considered unreality. I suggest that you reconsider this belief. Imagine that your dreams are simply different aspects of the same reality, and that they contain teachers for you on your sacred path. Begin with understanding that this is primarily a world of energy, and only secondarily a world of material objects. To know your sacred self, you need to perceive energy directly. This is what you are capable of doing in your dream state. The entire basis of your perception shifts from concrete objects to energy shapes. When this is part of your reality, your dream state becomes something that you share with other spiritually attuned beings. Eventually, you can be aware that you are dreaming while you are dreaming. This is called lucid dreaming. In lucid dreaming, you can control your dreams and be able to dream awake. Through the process of dreaming, you perceive other dimensions of reality, which are shut out by your conditioning. I'm not talking here about dream interpretation. I am talking about knowing your dream life and being aware of experiencing dimensions of a reality while you are sleeping, which will also become available in your waking moments. Your dreams are created with the same body and the same brain as is the rest of your perceptual world. It's all yours. You do not leave every night and take on a new brain to experience your nighttime reality. Everything that you are capable of knowing and being convinced of in your dream has a potential for being experienced in all moments of your daily life. Everything. Yes, I know this is a radical notion, but it leads you to know the power of your energy body. You enter your dreaming world with a complete absence of doubt about what you can experience. With that absence of doubt, there are absolutely no limits. Then, when you awaken to what you call your waking consciousness, you still have the same body, the same brain, and the same perceptual equipment, but you introduce doubt. I believe that your dreams do not reveal things about you, but that they are you. They are real, and they can become highly effective in helping you to experience your highest spiritual self. When you do go to sleep, encourage yourself to be aware that you are entering your dream state. Just this awareness is the first step toward higher awareness through dreaming. As you drift off, make a mental note to yourself that you are about to enter the dream state and that you are pleased to be aware of it. Make an effort before you drift off to consciously see elements of your upcoming dream. Tell yourself you will make a note of an object, a room, or a specific location while you're in the dream. Experience as much detail as you can concerning the object while dreaming. If it is a lamp, for instance, bring it closer to you with the power of your mind. Examine the color and the shape and the intensity of the light. You want to make direct contact with your energy body, that special body of energy that coexists at all times with your physical body. By examining the content of your dreams, you will give yourself access to this higher energy. You will prove to yourself that your mental energy is a phenomenon that you can manipulate with practice and effort. Eventually, you will be able to access this energy in all moments of your life. In the first part of this tape, I've described the ideas and opinions you've been exposed to that have probably influenced your life. Many of those ideas, given to you by others, may now be your daily reality, defining for you what is possible and impossible in your life. I've encouraged you to abandon many of those beliefs and to make a new agreement with reality that is based instead on what you know is your truth. Once you know your personal truth, your reality will be free of doubt. You might not think that doubt could have much of an effect on your life, but part of the damage that it creates is that it is so thoroughly etched onto your belief system that it becomes impossible to think any other way. Doubting our potential achievements, we proclaim with certainty just what is and just what is not possible. But when doubt is banished, we come to a knowing that leads to creative and inspired solutions far beyond what we believed was possible. Can you imagine your reality if you were brought up in an environment free of doubt? How would your life be different if you had never heard, "It can't be done, that's not possible, accept your limitations"? What if you had been encouraged to exercise the energy of your mind? You might have used that energy to explore your power to influence other beings and things and the weather and your own creativity. If you had been fortunate enough to be raised without doubt, you would possess an incredible inner sense of your magnificence. Never would you utter sentences that reflect doubt, such as, "I'm not talented enough, it can't be done, get real, and don't you know that there are limits to everything?" The sacred self knows no doubt. It has no limits, and it has no boundaries. What would our world be like if we had learned this in childhood? It is time to know that we have a personal responsibility to incorporate the sacred quest in our lives and to introduce our children to this aspect of human life. I offer my own children opportunities to learn about their inner limitlessness in a variety of ways. For example, I invite them outside with me to make clouds. After dinner, we take a blanket outside to lie down and we engage in what has come to be called cloud making. The children start by creating an inner picture of a form they want to see in the clouds. Then they concentrate their energy on a particular cloud, attempting to influence it to design their own inner picture. The neighborhood has gotten used to hearing my kids shout, "I'm making a house, Daddy. Watch my cloud move. I'm moving it with my mind." Beliefs, you see, are handed to you, but knowings come from within. There's a long list of things that you believe about yourself, the world, and God, and your potential, and the fate of capitalism, and so much more. These beliefs, which came to you from outside of yourself, became your very own. Your knowings, however, all came to you as a result of your own experience of having decided to transcend a belief. No one can hand you a knowing. You must have the direct inner experience of the decision-making function to make it a known. Beliefs also will let you down in a crisis, while knowings never let you down. When you believe in something without knowing it, there is doubt attached to the belief. The doubt resides somewhere deep in the recesses of your mind. Nevertheless, it exists as a thought that you will ultimately call upon when you want to put that belief into practice. I remember believing that I couldn't do a backward dive into the swimming pool. Every time I said to myself, this time I can do it, that nagging little doubt would surface at precisely the moment I would attempt the back dive. I'd find my body turning around at the very last second. The tiny doubt attached to the belief about my ability was what I relied upon at the moment of execution. If you believe something, based only on what others have told you is true, when a big test shows up, that belief often will let you down. If you have a belief that God will be there for you in a moment of trauma, and that any suffering that you are experiencing is just as divine as any joy that you have experienced, but you do not know this, you will find the pain of your disappointment will become an affirmation that God doesn't really exist for you. Your belief will be shattered in a moment of trauma. This is because you are attempting to have a vision of God that has come to you from outside of yourself, and it is weakened with doubt. Knowing God and suffering in the way William Blake wrote about in this following poem would pull you through your trauma safely, as the poet suggests. He says, "Man was made for joy and woe, and when this we rightly know, through the world we safely go. Joy and woe are woven fine, a clothing for the soul divine." Knowings can never let you down because they are woven into the fabric of your being. If you cannot doubt that which you are, and you know that you are, then you will never be disappointed. Again, beliefs have that insidious doubt attached to them, while knowings are free of such contamination. Your beliefs are mental exercises, while your knowings are physical exercises. You may believe that you have no talent for art, but somewhere deep within your consciousness there exists a tiny smidgen of doubt about whether it would prove really true were you to actually apply yourself in a new way. When you know something, it becomes your physical reality, and you act on this knowing at all times. When you merely believe something, whether it be negative or positive, you have a tiny bit of doubt connected to it, and that doubt becomes your reality. Beliefs are mental. Knowings are physical, though they originate as mental beliefs. Beliefs restrict you, while knowings empower you. Louise Hay is a perfect example of this. She's a beautiful and sensitive woman who has written many powerful books on healing and is the publisher of a collection of my own personal affirmations and daily reminders, a little book called Everyday Wisdom. We were on a national television hookup together when a caller asked whether Louise had ever considered any traditional approaches to treating her cancer 8 years earlier. Louise gave the kind of answer that I hope you will be able to cultivate as you see how knowing can empower you to higher levels than you might have considered. She responded, "I knew in my heart that I could not allow them to radiate me or to put chemicals into me or cut me. I just knew that this could not be my method for dealing with this cancer. My knowing led me to other alternatives, which I have written about, and ultimately to the eradication of the cancer from my body. I am not disparaging any other form of treatment. I just knew inwardly that I couldn't go in that direction." The key here is her use of the word knew. She didn't believe in an alternative therapy. She knew that those traditional methods were inconsistent with who she was. She consulted her knowing. That knowing empowered her. Your beliefs are transitory, while your knowings are eternal. Think about many of the beliefs that you have today and how they have shifted over the years. In fact, many of the beliefs that you now hold were met with revulsion and disgust when you first experienced them.